Happy 1 year of Darian Diaries, a 20-something survival guide. You're listening to the Darian Diaries. I cannot believe it is 1 year of this podcast. Thank you so much, Survival Guide fam, for being here today. Would it be 1 year of Darian Diaries, a 20-something survival guide, if we didn't bring the Darian Diary with us? No, it wouldn't. This feels really weird recording this episode. I have not filmed a solo episode in so long. It is really intimidating recording with a guest, I would say, but recording by yourself, where you just kind of have to be the one saying everything and you're kind of talking to yourself, even though I know I have you, my survival guide fam, listening, it still feels a little funky. But before we even jump into today's episode, I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you so much for being tuned in. Thank you for being a part of this community. I would not be doing what I'm doing without you, the listeners, and the supportive community I have backing me up. This year, we had so many amazing guests, my friends and loved ones. We even got an influencer too in the mix. It has been just so rewarding getting to meet with so many diverse, wonderful women. And I'm really hoping that in the next season, we can bring some men on the podcast as well. Since the listener base, there are some guys out there. Shout out to you. Hey. I am just truly so overwhelmed. Yesterday, when I checked my analytics, I saw that I hit my goal of 100 subscribers in my first year, which is just such a rewarding and wonderful feeling. And I couldn't have done that without you. So thank you so, so much. If this is the first episode you're deciding to tune in, hey, I'm Darian Alexis, and welcome to a 20-something survival guide. This is the place where all 20 somethings, 30 somethings, and beyond can come and just learn how to survive and thrive as an adult, more specifically geared towards 20-year-olds, just because I am 25. But this is your safe place, a place where you can ask questions, a place where you can build community. And if you want to be a part of that community, make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Darian Diaries. And I also started posting the podcast episodes on YouTube. So if that's more your speed, feel free to go check that out. And on YouTube, you can find me at Darian Alexis. The next person I want to thank from the bottom of my heart is Michael. I know he may not always listen to my episodes, but he has been so supportive throughout this year. He has been the person to write my intro music, listen to so many of my first episodes before posting, give me feedback, help me with the podcast cover, and has just let me use this room because we're in my podcast studio right now, aka our guest bedroom. And there's been so many times where I'm like, Michael, I need you to leave, even though this is like his safe haven. So thank you so, so much to Michael. I love you, and you're just the best partner I could ever ask for. Let's do a few life updates. So, I started this podcast when I was 24. I'm now 25, hence the quarter life crisis, which we will definitely be talking about in season 2, perhaps even the first episode. I am living in Connecticut with Michael. We're in the same apartment we were in a year ago. I'm at the same job I was in a year ago. I don't think, oh, my huge update is that I have friends. One of the reasons I started this podcast was because I was feeling so, so, so lonely, and I didn't really have any community here in Connecticut. And so now I have friends, which is the best. If you are one of those people listening, one of my Connecticut people, thank you so much for taking me under your wing. It has been a joy getting to know you. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for the friends that I've made here. I have learned so much about myself through this podcast. I started it for many different reasons. One of the reasons was my commute to work. You guys know it's so long. It's an hour and a half, essentially, one way. And I was feeling really lost when I came here to Connecticut. So I was looking for podcasts specifically for 20 somethings. I'm like Googling 20 something podcast, how to survive as a 20 something. how to adult. And I couldn't really find anything that was a straightforward survival guide for 20 somethings. This is catered for us, the 20 somethings that don't know what we're doing with our life. There's so many topics that we don't learn about in college. We don't learn about how to get a boyfriend. We don't learn about how to make friends. We don't learn about how to navigate career changes or finances. I mean, some people might learn finances, but I sure as hell didn't when I was in college. So, this podcast is just the place to go for all the simple and quick how to's. But what makes it even better is the fact that you're hearing from other 20 somethings or even content matter experts that are going to be real, genuine, and raw with you. It's not some super professional podcast where some doctors bringing their quotes. No, like we're having real, genuine people with real, genuine lives that can just speak to you and keep it real, because keeping it real is so important when it comes to your 20s. Because my whole life I was dreaming and fantasizing about what I would be like when I'm older. And now that I'm here, I realized that I wasn't very realistic about what life would look like. And that's okay. But we're learning and we're growing. And this podcast is a place for you to learn how to grow and survive and thrive, all while doing it with me. So we're totally in this together. You're never alone. I'm always here, DM or email away at Darian Diaries for literally everything. This podcast gave me a platform to be vulnerable. I have not had the best time in my 20s. I know on my stories sometimes it may look like my life is a breeze, but it's not. I've struggled with real things. And being able to open up about these things to you all, the listeners, and know that I'm not alone has meant so much to me from the bottom of my heart. It's really given me an outlet to talk about my struggles and not feel so alone all the time. It's helped me build a community. I cannot believe how many wonderful people I have met through this podcast, all of the other content creators and 20 somethings and 30 somethings that are now following me on my Instagram specifically. You guys make life so much better and you make life so much worth living. So thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting. If you guys have any ideas on how I can continue to build the community, whether it's creating a Facebook group or not a Slack. I do not want to have a Slack channel, or like a WhatsApp channel. Whatever your ideas are with how we can continue to build the community, please shoot them my way if you're interested in that, because the community aspect of this podcast is so much more than the podcast. Like, I would love to meet you guys in person. I have so many hopes and dreams and how we can make this podcast even better for next year. This podcast has also been a creative outlet for me. It's been a challenge. When I started, I did not know anything about podcasting. In fact, the whole podcast was audio. And I started with this little $20 mic from Amazon, which the mic is okay, but Michael gave me this very wonderful mic, which is the Rode Podcaster mic, not sponsored, but it's a really easy podcast mic if you have any interest in starting your own podcast. But I did not know how to edit a podcast. I did not know how long a podcast should be. I didn't know anything about podcasting, really. I didn't even really listen to podcasts that frequently up until moving to Connecticut when I had the long commute. And now I love podcasting. I love listening to other podcasters. It is just such a great way to connect and learn new things and learn new skills and understand other people's outlooks on life, which help you kind of form into the outlooks that you want to have on life. And now I just have a lot more to learn when it comes to podcasting. But now that we're on video, we have a new mic, we might have a new intro and podcast cover coming soon for the second season. I am just so excited. It is this summer, and some things that I got going on this summer are my summer trips. You guys know that I'm a little travel bug. I am a Sagittarius. We were born to travel, we were born to explore the world. And I have so many other travel besties that are all Sagittariuses too. But my upcoming trips are, I have one coming up to Boston, which me and Michael decided to take a little weekend trip to Boston for Memorial Day. Super excited about that. By the time this podcast episode comes out, we will have just been there. And we are just trying to do some more weekend trips. We are, 20 something, so we can't blow all of our money, but we are still trying to live in the moment and make the most out of every day. So, one of the ways we're doing that is by taking a weekend trip. I have not been to a baseball game in years, and your girl is a baseball girly. So, we are going to a baseball game to see the Red Sox at Fenway, and I am so, so excited. So, we'll definitely report back on that. Another trip I have coming up is to Chicago to visit my friend Julia for her birthday. I have not seen Julia since I've moved to Connecticut, so I miss her so, so much. And I'm really excited because I also get to meet up with my friend Amanda that I made on my last EF trip. So just being able to see old friends and reconnect is so special. So I'm really, really looking forward to Chicago. Also, this summer, me and Michael are going home. And by home, I mean my home, Ohio, OHIO. I love Ohio. I didn't used to love Ohio until I moved out of it. But as I've talked about on this podcast, sometimes you need to move away to see where your home is and to see what makes you happy. You need to try new things. And it's always okay to go back to your roots. And so I'm going back to Ohio and I am so, so excited. I'm going to spend some time with my friends and family in Cleveland. And I'm also going to get a chance to see my sister's new place in Columbus. So, super, super excited for that. I get to see my nephew for only the second time, and he's almost 1 year old. Ah! So, I really just can't wait to spend some quality time with my family and loved ones. And lastly, and one of the trips I'm most excited for is in September, which I'm sure I'll talk about it again on the pod in season 2. But me and Michael are going to Italy and Greece. Greece has always been at the tippity top of my bucket list of places to travel. So I am so excited. Once again, an EF Ultimate Break trip. If you have not yet gone on an EF Ultimate Break trip and you want to, I will put my link. Actually, my link is in my link tree, which I'll just put that in the show notes. But you can get an extra $100 off with my link if you've never been. If you have been, you can use your code repeat. And EF is just, it's been life changing. There's no other way I can say it. EF has changed my life. I have made so many wonderful friends through EF. I have been on almost every vacation actually every single vacation out of the country with EF. And thanks to you and thanks to, being able to promote them and everything, every single trip I've mainly been on has been free. And I would not have been able to afford going to these countries if it wasn't for EF making it affordable and helping me with all of the promo codes that they have going on. So, shout out to EF. Next, I want to get into my current obsessions. Keeping it real. We don't always get to chit chat. I don't really do solo episodes anymore, and I do want to make sure you guys know me. So, my first current obsession is Bridgerton. Yes, Bridgerton. The new season just dropped. I cannot believe that they only dropped 4 episodes. That was infuriating. If you want to see me reacting, I posted a TikTok about it because jaw on the floor carriage scene. Say no more. So that is one of my obsessions right now. Reading is also another one of my obsessions. I have been reading so many more books this year. My goal was to read 24 books, and I think I'm almost at 20. So I'm way ahead of schedule. I think last year I read like 12, so I wanted to double it. I'm like $2 a month. That's nothing. And so far it has been nothing. It has been so, so great. Another thing that I'm obsessed with, paint by numbers. I love painting. It is such a therapeutic thing. And sometimes I really, really find myself chronically scrolling. And that is a habit I'm really trying to break this summer. And so my friend Bailey sent me a paint by numbers of Paris. And so I've been working on that very slowly and surely, but it is just amazing because I am not a pro painter. So just being able to kind of like mindlessly or like turn off my mind and just paint away has been so therapeutic for me. Hot take, especially for a content creator, but probably my number one current obsession is posting whatever the hell I want. I really have been kind of strategic in what I've been posting. I built a strategy, how many posts I wanted to post, what kind of stuff. And I'm over it because it's drained me and it's made me not want to post and not want to be creative. So now I'm posting whatever I want. Screw the strategy out the door. I'm just sharing my life with you guys. It is called Darian Diaries. So it is my diary. It is my journal. It is where I'm going to put my hopes, dreams, loves, laughs, cries, all of it. All of it, I'm going to post. I'm going to post it. And if it doesn't perform well, I'm not going to take it down because guess what, baby? We don't need to perform for anyone. We need to stick true to ourselves, and the people that love us will find us. When it comes to fashion, I want to bring tankinis back. I have said this before, and I have seen it trending low key. So I'm like, did I do that? Did I do that? But growing up, like I was very insecure about my body, so I couldn't wear the bikini. So I was wearing a lot of one pieces, and one pieces are so hard to go to the bathroom in, even though they can be cute. And I'm like, dang, can we change the narrative around tankinis? Can we make tankinis cute? Because I feel like back in the day, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're wearing a tankini. So not cute. So lame. Well, you know what? You're lame. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to wear tankini. Thank you. Next. When it comes to artists, my music artist obsessions right now, which have been my music obsessions for the past few years, Madison Beer and Sabrina Carpenter. I think everyone's saying this. It's a little bit more mainstream right now, but I don't care because I like them. They're the best. They're like two little brat stalls working the stage, beautiful, badass women with great boppy music. So if you haven't checked out Sabrina Carpenter or Madison Beer, check them out. Oh, shoot. I should have said this when it came to fashion before with the tankinis. My favorite store of the moment is Old Navy. Old Navy shoes, Old Navy trousers. Old Navy is perfect for work clothes. It is perfect for cash clothes. This shirt's from Old Navy. My socks are even from Old Navy. Old Navy has got it going on for the 20 somethings. Old Navy, please sponsor me. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, my final obsession is movie theaters. If you guys don't know, last September, I won a contest, a photo contest. I dressed up like Barbie and I posted a picture and I won a free year pass to my local movie theater, Mystic Luxury Cinemas. It is my favorite place in all of Connecticut. I just got back from the movies today. I saw If, and I see just about every single movie. And every time I go, I make sure to buy so many different concession things because support your local movie theater, especially since I'm not paying for the ticket. I'm definitely paying for the snacks. And the movies is just so nostalgic. I feel like I watched so many movies with my dad growing up with my family. I love the movies. It is such a wonderful solo date. It is a way to, you know, get off your phone, sit there, enjoy something and just relax. Just relax, take in the cinematic beauties that are in front of you. And that's a wrap on my current obsessions. And last but certainly not least for this episode, I want to talk about where this podcast is going. So, as I said, I started this podcast for so many reasons. I started it because I knew I loved mentoring people. I knew I loved connecting and talking with people. And when I first started it, I was feeling lonely. I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to. So I decided to talk to you guys. I decided to make an avenue for myself to connect with other 20 somethings that were also struggling and 30 somethings that could give further advice on how and what to do, 40 somethings that can say, hey, babe, you're not doing anything wrong. Like adulting is just hard. And that has just been so, so, so wonderful for this first season. Please continue to submit podcast request topics. I have really enjoyed a lot of the topics and I still have so many topics I want to get through. But if there's just one you are itching to know more about, you want to hear other 20 somethings chat about, please submit it. You can submit it via email, DMs, on Spotify. Let your girl know, and I will do an episode on the topic that you're interested in. My goals for this upcoming year are first off, some amazing guests. I am really hoping for some experts on the podcast, influencers, other podcasters. Send your guest requests. Who do you want to hear? Who should I try to get on the pod? The first season was very heavily like my besties. And that's because I did not have a podcast community yet. And I had no avenue to get to experts. And you know what? I really do like hearing from just everyday 20, 30 something. So I'm going to continue to have my friends and family and whatnot on the pod. But I think it's good to have like a little mix in the guests. So if there's someone you are just dying to hear from, let me know and I'll try my best to get them on here. Season 2 is coming up. So there's going to be like maybe a 2-week break with no episodes. Ooh. But that's okay. We all got a chance to, refresh. And during that refresh, I'm going to bring you a new podcast cover. Hey, my first podcast cover, I literally took it right here with a white a white a white sheet. A white sheet, a tripod, a girl in a dream. That is how the first podcast cover was taken. I am going to Boston and I'm going to try to get some new photos, perhaps. Michael wrote me a new intro. It is already leaked a little bit. So if you want to go listen to the new trailer for a 20 something survival guide, click the trailer, listen to the new beat Michael whipped up for me. Shout out to you again, Michael. I really want to get better with editing. So when I first started editing this podcast, this made me nothing to you guys, but I just recorded, I did just audio and I recorded on GarageBand, then edited in there and then exported. Then I wanted video, so I switched over to Riverside. Riverside editing has not been my favorite thing. So that is how I record my videos and audio, especially with guests, because unfortunately, I can't really have any of my guests in person yet. I'm not in a podcast studio. I'm literally in my apartment. But if we can continue expanding the podcast, that's something that I'd really love to do, is just have more in-person guests. I kind of want to add more fun stuff to the video. If you guys are watching, the episodes air on YouTube. You can watch them on Spotify. I do not think that Apple Podcast has video capabilities yet, but maybe they will in the future. And so we're going to continue to expand this video podcast. I'm hoping to add in some more editing flair. I love making YouTube videos. So I'm hoping we can maybe throw a little bit of a creative spin on the next season as well in terms of editing the pod. And I want to connect with more of y'all. Like I already said, whether maybe we set up an event, have a book club. I don't know. As I said, show me your ideas, send them my way, and I am so happy for that. Oh, also, I wanted to say, none of you have ever sent in a voice memo. Please send in your voice memo, send in your stories. You have the capabilities to do that on Spotify. I want to know your stories, your life challenges. Send me a voice memo. Okay? Okay. A little sneak peek into season 2, which will be airing on June 19th. Season 2 first episode is going to be about quarter life crises with one of my podcasting friends, Natalie Palick. She is literally low-key, I think, my soulmate. I'm kidding. But what I mean by that is she was born in Ohio the day before me. Like, we literally were born like at the same exact time. We were both Sagittarius queens. We are both Ohio girlies living on the East Coast now. We have very like parallel lives. Parallel because they don't really intersect, but like they kind of started intersecting because now we're friends. But yeah, anyways, she's going to be the first guest on the episode. She has so many great things to say. So make sure to tune in, mark it your calendars, June 19th. Be there or be square. And lastly, I just want to wrap up again by saying thank you so much for tuning in. This podcast has helped me in so many ways that I can't even describe. I hope it's helped you too. If you have any feedback, please give me it. I saw someone gave me a 2 stars on Apple Podcasts, which is fine. But tell me why. If you want me to change something, tell me. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm fine with the 2 stars. But if you want to give me 5, please do. With that being said, please take the time to subscribe to the podcast if you liked our little talk today. I'm hoping to connect with you guys more in season 2. Please consider rating the podcast. You can get it wherever you're getting your podcast and even on YouTube as well. You can check out my website, which is on Wix, but it's in my link tree as well, linked in the show notes. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. As always, I'm Darian Alexis, and don't forget to survive and thrive.